some questions. All right, so we are talking about Christmas marketing and how you can do it better. The one thing about Christmas is that we get busy being busy, and so we need to make sure that this is really good timing for anyone that hasn't already sat down and done their planning for their Christmas. And the last thing we want is for our competitors to be marketing to our people and we're not marketing to them. So, extremely thankful to Kate and the team at the Rural City of Wangaratta for putting this on today. For those of you who don't know me, I live about 40 minutes from Wangaratta. I live on a farm just outside Mulwala. I started my career in law, but then I bought a retail business, and that's pretty much where I found my love for social media and marketing, and haven't stopped doing social media and marketing since. I've been doing a speaking and social media marketing and coaching for about 5 years now, despite the fact that it says 3+. I really need to update this slide. And I'm also the founder of Buy From a Bush Business Facebook group and the online marketplace called spendwithus.com.au. So I've got kind of two businesses, I guess, but my Spend With Us business is a retail business. It's an online marketplace business. So I still have my hand into retail, but also sort of understand from a services point of view, being my social media and marketing business. So I'm going to try and talk both service-based and retail-based as we go through today. But, that's enough about me. Let's get on and have a look. So I think the biggest thing I want you to take away today is remember what you're selling at Christmas time. And it's not your products and services. That is not what you are selling at Christmas time. It might be what's bringing money in the door, and that's what the cash flow is. But what you're actually selling is time. Time is totally your currency when it comes to Christmas shopping, or even just summer, like if your business isn't into Christmas as such. Because basically people are time poor. People are more time poor this year than ever before. Is certainly what I see online and with my friends and my family. And it's going to be a little bit stressful as well. And I know myself, I'm already thinking about the logistics of getting my Christmas shopping done, where I'm going to go, what that's going to look like, are there any restrictions, all of that. So people have these extra stresses. So we need to make sure it's super simple for our people this year, for our new customers, and certainly for our loyal and past customers. So whenever you're thinking about your Christmas marketing, I want you to keep this in mind, that you are selling time and you're selling convenience to your people. It's really important that we continue to show up over the next 8 to 10 weeks inside our business. It's really easy to get busy being busy. So whether you're in retail and you're ramping up, or whether you're a service-based business who sort of works just so hard until about the week before Christmas and then has a couple of weeks off, it doesn't matter. This is a really busy time of the year for any business, and we need to make sure that the people who know, like, and trust us, the people that have followed us all year, or for the last 5 years, that we're still showing up for them, that we don't forget about them, that we make ourselves easy to buy from, and we make it super simple for them at this time of the year, but that we keep marketing to them. Because if you forget to market to them, I guarantee you that your competitors won't stop marketing to them. So we need to make sure that we are still there for them, still showing up, still making their life as easy as we possibly can. So what are you doing when you're looking at your marketing coming into the busy season? What are you doing to surprise and delight your customers? Because there's one way to stand out in a marketplace, and we all operate in a very busy marketplace. So whether your competitors are, the shop around the corner or online, or the big corporates, we live in a very busy and noisy marketplace. So we need to surprise and delight our customers. Think of maybe your best customer experience that you've had as a customer, not as a shop owner or not as a business owner. What are some of the best customer service experiences you've had with other businesses? And what are some of the worst? What lessons have you learnt from both of those experiences that you can implement into your business, especially at this time of the year. More often than not, your worst customer experience as the customer is probably a time when you're a little bit stressed. It was probably a time when, it was more about you than what it was about them. It's just that they bore the brunt of it. And it just all escalated. And the best customer experiences you've had, what did you learn from those? What can you take from that experience and implement into your own business? I know my best customer service experience that I had, that just always comes to mind, is when I was lucky enough to take my children to the US quite some years ago now. And all I wanted to do was shop on Rodeo Drive. I wanted that Pretty Woman moment. So anyone who's watched Pretty Woman, knows Rodeo Drive is like the place to shop. And I wanted to buy something from there. So I went to Tiffany's. On Rodeo Drive. That could have been one of the worst experiences that I could have had, but it was one of the best. The lady who served me, she knew exactly what I was after. She knew that I was after the experience of shopping at Tiffany's on Rodeo Drive. I had a husband and 3 children out the front of the shop. It was about 45 degrees in the shade. They don't sell ice creams or soft drink on Rodeo Drive. So I had a very limited window. She made me feel so special and so wanted, and just the most important customer that she had all day. I probably wasn't. In fact, I'm sure I wasn't. But it was the way she made me feel. And I always, when I had my retail shop, I had a sign up above the kitchen sink in the staff room that said, people will forget what you did, people will forget what you said, but people will never forget the way you make them feel. And that is one of the things that we need to make sure with our marketing. And, anyone who's heard me speak before will know that marketing, I say, is everything, because everything you do and say says something about you, whether you meant it or not. So the way you make a customer feel is the way that they are going to remember your business. They may not remember the product that they bought from you, but they will remember the surprise and delight. So just keep that in mind. People remember the way you made them feel. So, and at this time, again, when people are busy, when people are slightly stressed, they will remember you making things easy for them, that, you doing time-saving activities for them. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through. So I'd really encourage you, when you're looking at your marketing and you're looking at setting your business up for the next 6 to 8 weeks, what can you do to surprise and delight them? And think about your own experiences of your best and worst customer service experiences, and try and implement some of that into your business. So one of the first things we need to do when we're looking at marketing for the next, 6 to 8 weeks is look back on 2020. Now, I know that 2020 Christmas time might have looked a little bit different for your business, depending on what your business is. So you might even flick back 2 years and go to 2019 and look at what the marketing looked like there. But, the questions to ask yourself is, what worked last year? What did you do that worked super well? What didn't work? What did you try that just didn't work? For instance, and no offense to radio or TV or newspaper, but, did you participate in a local radio promotion and it really just didn't bring in the dollars that you thought it did, or it didn't have the return on the investment that you thought it did? Did you run a Facebook ad that kind of cost you X amount of money, but you don't really know whether it worked? Like, yes, you got comments and likes, and they gave you some really big statistics, but at the end of the day, it didn't seem to fill the bottom line any further. So these are the things that you need to go back, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So you need to look at what worked, what didn't work, what didn't you do that you wanted to do. Like, sometimes when we're in business, we look at something someone else has done, or we see something that really triggers something in our head, and we think, wow, that would be a super thing to do in my business. I think that would be really well. That would go really well. But maybe you ran out of time. So maybe you just didn't have time to implement it because you saw the promotion or you saw the idea 2 weeks before Christmas and you were already run off your feet. So what are some of those things that you didn't get time to do that you would like to test and measure this Christmas busy summer season? And what have you thought of since? These are the things that you need to be looking back. So even scroll back onto your socials and have a look at this time last year. Hopefully that's quite some scroll back, especially, to make, especially if you are posting consistently on social media, but also have a look at your emails. What emails did you send out last year? How did they go? What was the open rate? What was the click-through rate? We need to get some solid data to know what worked, what didn't work, and what we need to do this year. So some pro marketing tips when it comes to Christmas marketing is to post into local groups. So if we're looking at how we can encourage people to shop local this year, we've got to let them know who we are, what we have, and what we can do for them and why they should shop with us. And sometimes posting on our own social media is really great for our own audience, but we have trouble reaching new audiences. So, posting into local Facebook groups could be a really great way of getting, what you're doing, what you have to offer out there to a wider audience. And if the groups are public, then that's even better because then someone can share it as well. So you might post into your local Facebook group, you've got this special coming up, or you've got, a late night shopping night, and then Jane sees it and she shares it. So, it has the ability to, reach a much bigger audience than just posting on your own socials. I call it a reach out strategy. So having that strategy where you're reaching out to people, not just expecting everybody to come to you. A bit like having a bricks and mortar and opening the doors every day and just expecting that people will find you without doing any advertising or marketing. Watch for local promotional opportunities as well, whether that's paid opportunities or perhaps collaborations with other businesses. I talk a little bit more about collaborations a little bit later and how successful they can be. And also, I think it's really important to audit your hashtags. So whether you're using them on Facebook or Instagram, it's really important that you audit them at this time of the year, because what are the local trending or national hashtags that you should be using when it comes to your marketing at this time of the year? And when I say trending local, quite often there might be a local promotion going on that you might be involved in. Is there a hashtag for that particular promotion that's going on that you should be using, so that people can find you via that hashtag, even if they don't know your business personally or have never shopped with you before? So they're just a couple of little pro sort of marketing tips when it comes to spreading the word about people coming to shop with you at this time of the year. The other thing we need to do is set some goals around what you want the year to look like, what you want this end of the year to look like. As far as a retail business goes, statistically, a retail business can earn up to between 35 and 45% of their entire annual income in these next few months. Like some businesses, this is the cream. This is where they earn all their profit, or 35 to 45% of their profit, to sustain them for the other 8-9 months of the year. So we've got to make sure that we've got some goals set around those. It'd be really interesting for you to have a look at your cash flow, or your perhaps your P&L or something like that, and just see how much in, say, October, November, December, or November, December, January, how much money is that you earn at this time of the year contributes to your overall cash flow or your overall profitability. I think you might actually get quite a surprise, and then that might spur you on to make sure that this time of the year is even better than what you are anticipating. So you need to set some goals. You need to set some profit goals, turnover goals, list building goals. If you aren't list building already, so you aren't building a database of people that you can email out, then that's something you really need to do. I talk about it a little bit later in a couple of different scenarios, but building empires on crown land. So by what I mean by saying that is just having Instagram and Facebook and dealing with algorithms and the fact that you could be hacked or taken over or the platforms could disappear. You need a backup plan, and list building and an email list is such a good backup plan. You need some operating hours goals as well. What are your operating hours? Are you closed? Are you open more often? What do they look like? And what goals do you have for that, Christmas and summer period for yourself as well? Do you have time off goals as well, or things like that? So you've got to really think about, what are the goals? Hopefully you set goals all year round, but this particular time of the year, especially if you're slightly competitive, I'm quite the competitive person when it comes to business, as in, when I had my retail store, I knew how much money I had to earn to beat that time last year, and I knew how much I needed to turn over and how many products I needed to sell. Like that, I was quite competitive with my own figures, and so having these goals really made me up the ante with my marketing, because I didn't want to not hit them. And then, of course, we need to think about some strategy as well. And now is you've probably only got 2 or 3 weeks left to sort of think about strategy, because after that, you just need to do the doing. You get so busy working in the business rather than on the business. You just need to have everything set up for yourself. And we'll talk about, scheduling posts and things like that shortly as well. But, strategy, there are 5 types of strategies when you're looking inside your business with marketing. You have an engagement strategy, brand awareness strategy, growth strategy, lead generation strategy, and sales strategy. What you need to be careful of this time of the year, or really any time of the year, is that you're not always doing the bottom one. It's not sell, 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 because people will be overwhelmed with sales messages. We are overwhelmed at any time of the year, but at Christmas time, we are way overwhelmed with sales messages. So you need to make sure that you have other strategies in place, such as, some engagement strategies. So, they're not, you could be selling without actually asking for the sale, but really you're just trying to bring that audience back and to engage with you. And this can be offline as well as online. This just isn't, purely a social media thing. What are the strategies? If you have a bricks and mortar store or a business, that is bricks and mortar, what are the strategies inside that business as well? Like having a bit of a think about, how do you do lead generation inside your business? Or, where else do you go to build your brand? Or if I walked into your business, can I see the brand, and does the brand look the same as what it does online? Like, these are all little things to be thinking about. Most of them are probably a little bit too big to be thinking about at this time of the year, because we are getting super busy at whatever it is that we do. But just make sure when you're looking at your marketing coming up to the busy season, that it's just not falling into that last basket there.
So Jen, just on that marketing, we've just had a question going back to the marketing audit and in particular hashtags. So Rach from Warby Wood has just asked, how do we find out which hashtags are trending? So for Rach, she runs a business of selling beautiful handcrafted wooden goods. So just, which hashtags might be, how to find out which hashtags might be trending in that area and that she should be using.
Yeah, I guess one of the most simple ways is to go to Google and type in trending hashtags for X, whatever it is that is your area, in business, trending hashtags for retail or trending hashtags for rural businesses, and see what pops up. But I guess I was sort of, at this time of the year, what are the hashtags for Christmas? Like, is there Christmas 2021, Christmas 2021 with Santa hat? What are those ones that are already starting to get traction that you can see simply by typing them into a platform like Instagram and seeing how many posts are actually against them already? And the local ones, I guess, the trending hashtags was more around, for instance, if you I know that Edge FM is really quite, popular over that side, like over Wangaratta, as far as promoting things at Christmas time. What's the name of their promotion that they're running? Is that a trending hashtag for your local area? Otherwise, I guess thinking about the other other types of trending hashtags that might be working on Instagram that you might see, I don't know, maybe not necessarily people who are competitors, but people who have the same audience as you. Going back 2 years ago, obviously, buy from the bush was a trending hashtag. There was empty esky was a trending hashtag, that sort of thing. So what is it this year that you're seeing lots of people using and posting? And the trending hashtags locally could be more around shop local Wangaratta this year. Those sorts of things. So I hope that kind of helps. It is research and it does take a little bit of time, I guess, but it's sort of watching what other people are using or starting your own trending hashtag, and then making sure your audience knows that that's your hashtag, using your business name, or buy business name this Christmas or something like that. So I hope that helps. All right, so goals, where were we? Okay, so if you're in retail, what products do you need to sell, and what products do you need to order in order to sell? So, what products do you need to order? I guess I put that in there for the retailers, because quite often when I work with retail businesses one-on-one, one of the first things we look at is the top 10 selling products in their business, or the top 20 selling products in their businesses. And more often than not, what they think is their top 10 selling products are not. Because, we pull out the data, we pull out the stats from their back end of their systems, and we really have a look. And quite often what they think they're selling a lot of or aren't selling a lot of really isn't quite the truth. And then, of course, once we work out what the top 10 selling products are, we work out what the margins are on those products, because we want to make sure that our products that we're selling a lot of have really good margins on them, because there's no use selling 200 of a product for $1 margin. You might as well sell 10 of that product for $50 margin. So we need to work out those sorts of things. And then, of course, making sure that whatever your top 10 products are, that you actually have them in the busiest time of the year, and you have enough of them at the busiest time of the year. The shop that I used to own was a kitchenware shop. So, of course, we would have literally hundreds of meat thermometers, because this time of the year, people are cooking roasts and people are cooking meat on the barbecue, and everyone would want a meat thermometer, because a lot of people probably only use them once a year and they'd lost it since last year. So we knew that that was one of our top selling products at this time of the year, and made sure we had to have them. And also products that you need to sell, I guess, again, talking in retail here, what are the products that have actually been sitting there a little while? Because at Christmas time, you get a lot of extra customers that perhaps only shop with you once a year, twice a year. So, what are those products that need to be gone by the time January ticks over? They're taking space, and you just need to make sure that those particular products need to sell. So they're little things to be thinking of. It's probably getting a little bit late as far as ordering goes. I know quite a few of my retail clients are having trouble, making sure they do have the products that they need to sell due to, shipping delays and things like that, but still something to think about for sure. My recommendation is, when it comes to your marketing at this time of the year, that you take a day off in November, a full day off, and probably in the not too distant future, and do some forward planning, set some goals and schedule some content. Make it simpler for you. At the start, I was talking about how, we need to sell the gift of time to our customers and our clients, but we also need it for you as well. You need to make sure that you've got as much set up while you're busy enough, but you aren't crazy busy at the moment, again, so that you are still showing up for your clients and your customers despite the fact that you are run off your feet. Once you've sort of taken the day off, I'm just going to give you a couple of hints on what you could actually do as far as, looking at scheduling some marketing. So I talk about breaking the marketing into themes, and perhaps this time of the year, they're weekly themes that, means that you can showcase everything about your business to ensure that, the people that are following you, don't miss out on anything, or that you're not just concentrating on one aspect of your business, that you are telling them about all the different facets of your business. So for example, if you're a homeware shop, for instance, you could theme your content into Kris Kringle gifts, gifts for him or her or them, or hard to buy people, Australian made gifts. You might theme it into gifts that have free postage or free delivery, and then of course things for Christmas Day. So that could be 5 weeks leading into Christmas that you could do those things, or it could be 8 weeks leading into Christmas, depending on how you wanted to break all of those things up. But if you're in retail, I know when we had our store, we went really hard on the Kris Kringle line, because that was, something that we had the ability to buy in with good margin, was gifts under that $25 mark with good margins. And so we became like the Kris Kringle people, and you wanted a Kris Kringle gift, you came to us to do that. So not only did we sort of try to specialize on that, but we did break up our themes, and you need to time it as well. So again, if we take Kris Kringle gifts, they're sort of something towards the end of November that people are looking for, just as all the staff parties start. So thinking about, how you can theme your social media and theme your emails so that you're not lost for content. And it's a really good opportunity when you sit down for the full day in November to think about what are the different aspects of your business that you could be putting out there on social media, as a weekly theme. So it doesn't mean you don't talk about them ever again, but it means that, if you're doing 5 posts a week, that 3 posts might be talking about that particular theme. And of course, you need to think about what is appropriate for what time. What do people actually want to buy at particular times of the year, or particular times of Christmas? Like, again, homeware shop, things for Christmas Day would be the last week, when people are madly going, oh my gosh, I've got 30 for Christmas and 5 more have just said they're coming. So that's the time that you would advertise that particular part of your business. For other businesses, it might be gift vouchers. If you're purely an online store, then the last couple of weeks heading into Christmas, or the last week heading into Christmas, it's e-gift tags or e-gift vouchers that you would be marketing really hard, because you can't get them anything in the post now, it's too late, but you can certainly send them an instant e-gift card.
They're all amazing, Jen, and I really like, it never hurts to have a sale or a promotion, but I like how all of those things don't necessarily require a price reduction. Customers are getting smarter, and if they know that you mark down certain products at Christmas time, they might only choose to shop then. So I really like how all those things are adding value without having to cut a price off.
Yeah, such a great point, Kate. You're absolutely right. Like, I know myself that, Target's in what, an 8-week cycle. If I want towels, I just wait till they come on special next time. Like, I don't go and, tend to pay full price at multinationals because they're all on, a particular cycle that they have. And, your customers will get savvy if you do that sort of thing as well. Like, obviously we have, Black Friday coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, you're exactly right. These things can be marketed to people without actually doing a price reduction. And I'm sure that you can do that inside your business as well. If you want to reduce prices, that's great. Just remember your margins as well. All right, some other themes to think about, of course, is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Click Frenzy. I think Click Frenzy is nearly on now. I think I saw a post just the other day, or just this morning actually, from someone talking about Click Frenzy. Not that they were participating, they were saying, which, might be a really good point. They were saying, we can't afford to go up against the multinationals. It's been a really hard year. We're a small family business. Don't forget about us. Support us, support the small people, support your own town, that's been there for you in the last 18 months when you haven't been able to travel, and that was just basically pulling on the heartstrings of people, saying, please don't go and, buy from all these big multinationals who can afford to discount. Support the people that support your local football club and support your local town and have been there for you in the last 18 months. So it could be a good post for most of our businesses to do if you're not participating in these particular sales. Giveaways are a really good thing to do this time of the year as well. But you need to get smart and savvy about it. So we would always go back to our suppliers and say, what have you got for us? So I know it's a little bit harder if you're hand making your own products or you're a service-based business, but how can you sort of do some giveaways at this time of the year to get some traction on social, but also in your store as well? If you do have suppliers that you buy from, hit them up. What do you have that you can give me for free that I could do a little giveaway with this year? Collaborations with other stores. When I was in retail, or when I had my bricks and mortar store, because technically I'm still in retail with my marketplace, but when I had my bricks and mortar store, we used to have a VIP night, which was the second or the first Tuesday of December. We did a collaboration with about 10 other businesses in the main street. And that was my second biggest day of the year. So it went for like 4 hours. Other than Christmas Eve, which was insane, that was their biggest time because they just weren't coming to see me. They were coming out for all 10 businesses, and we shared email lists and we shared socials, and we created a social group that we used to post on as well. We did do a little bit of newspaper advertising as well, but this is going back a few years now. Whether that's appropriate these days is totally up to you, but collaborating with other stores that are savvy as well can be one of the biggest things that you can do for your business at this time of the year, because you can get new customers out of it. If you collaborated with, if you sold candles or giftware and you collaborated with the local clothing shop, then there's a chance that you have the same ideal customer, but maybe they don't shop with you, but they shop with them. So there's a great crossover that can happen there. And it doesn't have to be bigger than Ben-Hur. You can, do these collaborations really quite simply. If anyone is interested in, discussing that further, I'm more than happy to have a chat, because this is one of the biggest things that we did in our business at this time of the year that reaped huge rewards all year round, because again, like I said, we got new customers out of it. List building, of course, again, and loyalty programs. If you're not list building, then you need to start list building. Think about holiday bundles as well, like upsells and cross sells inside your business. What do they look like? cross sells or upsells are really good for getting rid of slow moving stock that you can pair with a great fast moving stock with high margins. So, really can help the customers think they're getting a bargain, and you're getting rid of some slow moving stock. Doesn't mean it's bad stock, just means that it's slow moving stock. And of course, postage and delivery timing, think about that as far as your themes go as well. But no matter what, make yourself easy to buy from this Christmas. That is like selling time, but the golden rule is making yourself so easy to buy from, they just can't resist you. And that comes down to product selection. It comes down to merchandising. It comes down to what your online store looks like and how easy the checkout is. It can, pre-wrap gifts, but we'll talk a little bit more about some things of how you can make yourself easy to buy as we go through. I just really wanted to talk a little bit about discounting. Like, I know Kate just brought it up before, but I think we have to be really careful about discounting. And I don't know how all the people that are on here today feel about discounting, but I think one of the things that I never realized until I actually went, I was actually showing this graph many years ago, but the thing that really struck me is, if your normal GP, your gross profit margin markup is 60% on a product, and you give a discount of 20% off store wide or something like that, you actually have to sell more than 50% than what you would. So on a normal day's trading where you're charging normal margin, if you take 20% off, you actually have to double the amount of things that you would have sold. So it really makes you go, okay, so I just can't discount for discounting's sake, unless of course it's to get rid of product that's taking up space that, is costing you more money simply because it's just not moving. That's a different kettle of fish. But having these store-wide sales are a fantastic way of getting customers into your business. But you nearly need to sit back and go, okay, can I get twice as many customers in if I discount? And what does that look like? And even, online, if you take 20% off your online store, what are you going to do to get twice as much traffic than what you normally do to your website? Because that's what you're going to have to do in order to get the same profit margin as what you normally would have got. So it's really interesting to look at, original market markups versus discounts and what that actually does to a business. So if you're thinking about doing discounts at Christmas time, remember that you're going to have to up your marketing because you're going to need twice as much traffic, whether it's online or offline, doesn't matter. You're going to need twice as much traffic, and not twice as many, just twice as many buyers, twice as much traffic, because not everyone who comes to your online store or not everyone who comes to your business is going to buy. So keep that in mind when you're looking at discounting. All right, we're going to talk about scheduling content now and what to schedule. So schedule social media posts based on the themes and your goals that you've got, and hopefully after today you can sort of sit down and work out what your themes in your business could be. Schedule email marketing activities as much as you possibly can as well. So write all the emails you need to write and schedule them to go out when you want them to go out. Do paid marketing strategies. So sort of schedule when you want your paid marketing strategies to go. So whether that's advertising in radio or newspaper, or running a Facebook ad or doing a Google ad, when do you want them to start? And, even if you can't necessarily schedule them to start, have all the assets ready, have the pictures ready, have the captions ready, have all the links ready, so that when it's time to do it, and set yourself an alarm to say, today's the day I need the ad to run, and you've already got all the assets there. You're not running around, pulling your hair out going, where is that photo? I really want to use that one in the ad. So think of your paid marketing strategies. Look, with most digital marketing, you can schedule it to start on a particular date and end on a particular date. So you should be able to do this when you sit down, when you've taken your day off. Think about your opening times and schedule them. Schedule, like, as in, think about when you're going to be open and closed and schedule that into your social media so a post goes up. There's nothing worse than, being open for late night shopping and go, man, I forgot to tell people that, I was open for late night shopping, or telling them the day before, all of a sudden it's like, oh yes, I'm going to be open. And maybe they've already got their plans. But if you had have told them, a week ago and then reminded them last night, that might look different. So think about your opening hours and your closing hours and, what that might look like. As far as scheduling it out so you don't forget to tell the world when you're going to be open and when you're going to be closed. And also, just not Facebook, think about your Google My Business account as well, about changing the hours there. That might have to be a reminder that you set yourself to make sure you go and change those, especially if, you don't normally trade Sundays, but you are trading Sundays during December and January, or that you're closing on the 23rd of December and you won't be open again till the 9th of January. Make sure that you think about your opening hours. Any special promotions, you can schedule those in, and you're out of office on your email as well. So I would highly recommend that you set yourself a little out of the office from, as if you're in retail, for instance, you might set out a message that goes to everyone who emails you from the 1st of December to the 24th of December that might say something like, hey, thanks so much for your email. We are running because it's Christmas time soon, but I promise to look at this email. Might not get back to you as quickly as I would normally, but I promise within 24 hours I will answer your email. If it's urgent, ring and put a phone number or something like that. But again, like if people are used to you responding to emails really quite quickly, but you are flat out, give them a little reminder. It's not necessarily like I won't answer your email, but just let them know, hey, I'm under the pump. I will answer your email, but it just might not be as quickly as I normally do. And just basically schedule anything that will make your life easier. Scheduling kids is a little bit hard. I get that. Scheduling husbands and partners, but schedule anything that you think can just take that little bit of edge away, because not only are your clients busy, but you're busy as well. So what not to schedule? So you can't schedule everything. You need to leave room for organic. You need to leave room for showing up on live on Facebook. And I think if you don't use live now on Facebook and Instagram, I would highly encourage you to do some experimenting and get used to it in the next couple of weeks, because it will be your savior. To do a post on social media that you might want to do, to find an image, find a caption, think about the hook that you're going to use, and then schedule it and think about the hashtags you might need to use. That could be like a 20-minute to half an hour job, as opposed to picking up your phone, clicking the live button, showing the product, talking about the product, and pressing stop, and bang, 3 minutes, that particular part of your marketing is done. So really get used to live videos in the next couple of weeks so that you can use them strategically when you are really busy. And that will just, keep your new products that are arriving alive, but you won't have the stresses that go with it. So leave room for organic. Behind the scenes videos and stories, always great. People love those sorts of things. If you're having a particular crazy day, I'm sure your audience would love to know, because they're probably having a crazy day too. And don't schedule. You need to show up for your audience. Again, these people know, like, and trust you. They've been following you all year. They don't want you to disappear all of a sudden and not be there for them. They want you to keep showing up consistently like you have been. And again, if you don't do it, your competitors probably will. All right, some other thoughts around marketing for this time of the year. Align yourself with a charity is a really great option. Two things that you could do that we did in our retail store to align ourselves with the charity. The first one was we offered free gift wrapping. We always offered free gift wrapping, but at Christmas time, we asked for a gold coin donation and we had a box. And that box, went to the local charity, which happened to be Friends in Common in Yarrawonga. But, you might have a local charity that you could, align yourself with and, give all the gold coin donations for free wrapping like that. Like, might not be free wrapping. You could probably think of something else inside your business that you might be able to do. If you're an online business only, maybe it's a roundup. If you go to Woolworths, if you shop at Woolworths, you get the choice to round up your total to give to the Royal Children's Hospital, yes or no. Maybe you could put something like that on your online store. If it's 97 cents, round it up to the nearest dollar, and then that goes into, is given to a charity at the end of January or something like that. So you can align yourself with a charity that way. The other thing that we did, which, might not be possible depending on where you are, is that we aligned ourselves with the hospital and became the drop-off centre for a pay-it-forward Christmas trees. So people would buy things, bring them into our store, and we put them under the tree. And then at the end, close to Christmas, we would give all of those things to the hospital to distribute to, people that weren't so fortunate at Christmas time. It worked really well on so many levels because it brought in people into our store that hadn't actually been into our store before and created conversations around, things that were really special as well. So you can align yourself with a charity at this time of the year, big or small, but it can really help not only with promotion, because, at the end of the day, we're in business to make money, but also can be your way of giving back to your local charities that I'm sure are stretched at the moment as well. You can create an advent calendar with your products. That could be part of, 12 days of Christmas, or an advent calendar with your products. That could be something really cool that everyone could look forward to every day on social media. Have exclusive VIP deals and email deals. If you are email marketing at the moment, have exclusive VIP deals for the people on your email list, and then use that as the promotion to get more people on your email list. Or, of course, do a VIP deals for people that are your VIPs. Make them feel special. Surprise and delight. We're going back to that. Collaborate with others. I talked a little bit about that already. Develop a gift guide. If you don't belong to a consortium that does gift guides, you can do your own. They really are quite simple these days. There are so many what am I trying to say? There are so many programs out there that you can buy for $50 or something like that could simply do up a gift guide for you, or you could just cut and paste your photos in there and develop your own gift guide for your store, or even still collaborate with others and make a gift guide for the town. Like, that would be amazing as well. Bundle products together, slow moving products, fast moving products, top products. Really, again, you want people to feel like they're getting a bargain, but maybe the markup is still there because they're bundled together. Promote gift cards. Gift cards are great at this time of the year. They are, so easy to send via email and things like that, you can get them out really, really quickly to people, and add value, of course, as well. Like, those sales or those promotions that you could have where if you buy the coffee press, you get a free jar of coffee beans, or things like that. If you buy X, you get Y. What does that look like in your shop or in your business? And again, that doesn't even have to be retail. It can be service-based as well. Like, buy do a will, get a free will, like whatever that looks like inside your business. You just need to think outside the square a little bit. Shelf talkers are a really great idea. So they're basically, printed labels that you can put, or printed small cards that you can put around your store, gifts for him, gifts for her, gifts for the hard to buy people. It's just setting off something in someone's head, even if they're not Christmas shopping and they come across something in your store that says great gift for mum. They'll be like, oh, that is a great gift for mum, or that's a great gift for me. But you're just kind of selling without selling. And you can do the same sort of thing online as well by having great categories set out for Christmas. So making, really easy for people, or of course in a Christmas catalog. Pre-wrap gifts are a really cool idea as well, especially if you have a bricks and mortar store. They can go into your decorations of your store and make it look more Christmassy, but they save you time and they save the customer time as well. Free gift wrapping, I talked about that before, and aligning yourself with the charity. Free home delivery, free business delivery is a really great idea if you have a bricks and mortar in a town, or you have local customers. The time will come where you won't be able to send things, as in they won't get there on time. So, offering your local customers free delivery is really handy, and do it in the times that suit you. Like, I guess when we had our store, free delivery, but we delivered them after hours. So we'd close up the store at 5:30 and, we'd go and deliver a couple of parcels each, and especially if you have a really aging population, or have some elderly customers that don't drive, offering them free delivery on heavy parcels or bulky parcels really could help get the sale, rather than them having an excuse not to buy the item as well. Merchandise and themes, again, Kris Kringle, gifts for them, etc., etc. Think about your profit margins as far as bundling goes, and be really generous to other people as well. Think about corporate gifting, how you can make it easy for them. Again, sometimes depending on how big the business is so busy or so big that the purchasing officer doesn't even know all the people who work there, and yet they're in charge of buying them a gift. So how can you make that easy for them? Corporate gifting probably contributed about $25,000 to $30,000 a year to our bottom line at Christmas time. It just was something that we did it well. We made it so easy for people that they had no choice but just to buy from us. So, if you think, even $5,000 or $6,000 on your bottom line, that could really help for the rest of the year, simply by reaching out to some corporates and, like the local accountants or the local solicitors or local real estates and things like that. Think about your own prime real estate. So again, perhaps it's your bio in your Instagram, perhaps it's your cover photo on your Facebook, perhaps it's your email signature. What are you going to do at Christmas time to maximize exposure for your business there? What needs to change? Do you need to change your Facebook cover photo, to be more Christmassy, or talk about Christmas specials that you've got, or link to a particular part of your website that helps make their life easier? Again, we've got to flick our switch a little bit and go, radio, it's Christmas time. What do I need to change? Think about all the emails that you send every day. What's in your email signature? What needs to be on your email signature that can be a clickable link to make someone's life a little bit easier? So scarcity and urgency always work. So again, as marketing tactics, it's urgent, only 3 hours left. It's scarce, I've only got 3 of them left. That always works well as far as marketing goes. Think outside the box and surprise and delight. But again, collaborations, if you want more people to shop local this Christmas, give them a reason that's bigger than you. I'm sure your customers love you, but imagine if more customers loved you. So really think about how you can collaborate with people who aren't your competitors, but they have the same ideal client as you. So just something to think about. Again, I'm very passionate about collaborations because I think they just work so well when it comes to business. Okay. So this time of the year is the best time of the year for collecting data. So every customer who walks in or checks out without you collecting some data on them is a missed marketing opportunity for the next 12 months. You should be collecting emails, snail mail addresses, perhaps collecting mobile phone numbers, collecting data as in what did they buy, so that you can tailor your marketing for the next 12 months when it's not the busy season, when these people perhaps only shop with you once or twice a year. You have the opportunity then to remarket to them and this is online as well as offline. I think it's so important to build an empire that's not on land that you don't own, such as Facebook and Instagram. So, you might not know right now, and your head might be a little bit too busy right now to know what to do with this data. Well, what am I going to do with the emails, Jen? Like, you just might be like too busy to think about it now, but collect it now so that in February, when you do have time to think about it, you've got some data to work with. And yes, you might need to go back to these people and say, hey, you shopped with me at Christmas time. The season's now over. Would you like to continue to hear from me? Tick yes, tick no. And then, you've got an email database out of that. Like, it doesn't mean everybody whose data you collect, you can reuse, but, you certainly have got more of a chance of using it if you've collected it than if you haven't collected it. And of course, what did they buy? How useful will that be next year when you are looking at, what products, sold really well and at what time did they sell really well? Without data, you're only guessing. So don't miss the mark with collecting data this year, even if you don't know what to do with it yet, because if you've got it, we can work on that. But if you haven't got it, then it's a missed opportunity. There was a reason why, McDonald's used to say, you do want fries with that. They were upselling you every single time. And it became, something that was just part of their language. So again, would you like to join our email list? Would you like to win this competition? Fill out this form, which of course is collecting data on them. So I think it's just so important to collect data this time of the year. Because again, you get people in your shop that have never shopped with you before, or perhaps only shop once or twice a year. Loyalty programs, do you have the ability to do a loyalty program inside your business? If you have a electronic sort of system, then it might be quite easy to set up. But I think loyalty programs are one of the biggest ways that you can get people to shop local with you. And yes, you might say, but everyone has a loyalty program. You go to these multinationals and there's a card for everybody and a card for everything. Yeah, absolutely they do. And do you have the card? No, you don't. Okay, well, make it simple for them. Maybe they don't need a card. Maybe they just need to tell you their name and the loyalty program happens automatically in the background. But we've got to stop comparing ourselves to multinationals, because not many small business owners, mums and dads business owners, have loyalty programs. So straight away, if you have one, you're going to stand out from the crowd. And yes, multinationals have them, but small business owners don't often have them. And there's a reason why multinationals have them, because it works. It keeps people loyal. It keeps them being able to market to them and remarket to them. So if you have the ability to do a loyalty program, that would be awesome. Or put it in the think tank for February when things quieten down for you. But again,
you've stirred up quite a good conversation in the chat just around the best ways to collect email addresses from customers. Obviously, you touched on the giveaway at the front counter. Megan Garrick from Garrick Wines and Millewa Gourmet Regions just indicated they've actually got a QR system, which is linked to their MailChimp, which people, scan the QR code and they go into the draw to win a 6-pack of wine. So quite a good conversation happening there about different tactics rather than just, I suppose, firing off those 4 or 5 questions to someone to get that data.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really great. And I guess that's something I didn't touch on, which I have talked about a lot lately, is the QR codes. Like, probably not 10 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago, I tried to use QR codes in a couple of things and no one knew how to use them. They're such a great marketing tactic. And now everybody knows how to use a QR code. In fact, I'm working with a client at the moment and she's running for government. And it's just like, okay, so we need to use QR codes here, here, and here, because we don't want to be doing a lot of printing. We want to, one of the things that we talk about is the fact that, there is so much wastage. So in order to get away from not printing all this stuff, we need to use QR codes so when people scan, we can get them to go to a particular part of our website or something like that. Like everybody knows how to use a QR code now. So what can you do? That is such a brilliant idea, is the QR code, in order to get them to sign up to your list. But it is a give and take. Like, there has to be something in it for them, which of course is where loyalty programs can come in. And of course, your emails that you send out just can't be spammy. They can't always be buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, because people will stop reading them. They have to be information rich and sell without selling, which is probably a whole other webinar that we could do. But just as a bit of an example, I guess, of emails, when we had our kitchenware shop, we used to email our customers every week, and the emails always had 3 things in them. So they had a product, they had a recipe, and they had a cooking tip. So I can guarantee you people opened our emails for the recipe and the cooking tip long before the product. But we got really smart over time, and those 2 things related to the product. So the one that comes to mind really quickly is the wooden spoon. So the cooking tip was, if you boil water and you put your wooden spoon into a cup of boiling water and take it out and smell it, if it smells yucky, you need a new wooden spoon. Basically, there are germs in your wooden spoon, you need to throw it out. The products that we highlighted in the newsletter that week was our range of wooden spoons. So we sold an enormous amount of wooden spoons that week because of the cooking tip, not because people looked at the wooden spoons to start with and went, I need a new wooden spoon. We gave them a reason to need a new wooden spoon. So it was information rich. It was selling without selling. But that's how we sort of managed to work our emails. So you need to sort of come up with a bit of a formula. And it didn't happen overnight. Our emails weren't always that clever. But, as we worked through it over time, we managed to do some really great sort of, I guess, sequences in our emails to get the opens. So you've got to kind of think outside the square a little bit, because just emails that are selling all the time won't work. Except maybe if it's wine. Maybe wine might work all the time. I don't know. It would probably work on me all the time. But anyway, really great conversation. Hopefully we'll have time to talk a little bit more about that at the end as well. But basically, you need to make yourself easy to buy from. Be so easy, they simply can't resist you. And some tips and tricks for selling the gift of time, just to sort of go over a couple shelf talkers or categories on your email, on your website or in your bricks and mortar store, thinking about, hard to buy for people, like, having a little section of hard to buy for people gifts, or, Kris Kringle gifts will always make people think, oh yes, that's a great idea. Pre-wrap gifts, again, they'll help with your Christmas display, but also save you time and them. Offer free gift wrapping, offer home delivery or work delivery, merchandise into prices. So try to merchandise either your store or your online store into perhaps things under $50, things under $20, because people do have budgets. So acknowledging that and, still having good margin on products within those prices, and, letting them know that they can buy them will really help as well. And becoming the go-to store for something, the go-to store for Kris Kringle gifts, the go-to store for gifts under $100, the go-to store for, convenience, because, they gift wrap and they home deliver it to you, etc., etc. All right. Okay, so just to finish off, I've just got a couple of slides here about marketing in a pandemic, because things do look slightly different. So I thought I'd just run through a couple of these. We need to show up more often. Again, I would really love you to have a bit of a look at your socials, especially. I think, when was the last time you showed up for your audience? How many times can I see your face or how many times have you done a video in the last week, the last 3 weeks? If I went to your socials, can all I see is products, or are you actually showing up for me? Are you building know, like, and trust as the human being behind your business? Because that's what people want these days. Are you telling stories? Storytelling, human to human marketing. People really want to connect with the small business owners that they are buying from. There is a real movement to buy small. I've seen it through, my Buy From a Bush business group, my online marketplace that only supports rural and regional small businesses. I know firsthand how there is this movement going that people want to shop small. They want to shop with the people that they know. So again, are you telling your story to connect with people, and are you showing up? Do you have a reach out strategy? So, are you spending time being social on social media, and are you actually, going out and actively, commenting on other people's social media, etc.? Or are you kind of like opening your door and going, they'll find me? So again, you need to think about what your reach out strategy is. Reassure your customers that you're still here, that you're in full swing for Christmas, that you've got all these great things coming to help make their life easier when it comes to Christmas or summer season or just the peak busy season. Let them still know that you're there and that you still love them. Get creative, think outside the box a little bit when it comes to your marketing. Podcast interviews, subscription boxes, paid advertising, free media, PR, emailing. What are things that you're not doing? If you are just doing social media, Instagram and Facebook, you need to start getting a little bit more creative with your market and spreading your wings a little bit more to get more traction out there on the marketplace, because this is what your competitors are doing. Ask questions to your customers and really listen to the answers. I did a webinar yesterday and we were talking about, how to get more traction on social media. And one of the things I suggested was, what do people want to know more from you about? Like, you've got an audience who love you. What do they want to know more about you? And so using the Instagram question sticker to ask questions of your audience. And maybe that's what you need to do in your business as well. Up the social ante. More people are on social media than ever before. So what you did pre-pandemic might not be working so well right now. So do you need to up your social media ante? That might be going on to other platforms. It might be using the platforms differently. Like, again, we say Instagram, but in Instagram, we've got Instagram stories, Instagram reels, you've got long form video, IGTV, and you've got the feed. You can't just say I'm using Instagram these days. Where is your audience watching on Instagram? And maybe you need to up the ante a little bit. Networking is so important. Maybe you need to network both online and offline, and go outside your comfort zone a little bit, and get people to get to know who you are, what you do, and what you can do for them. Networking, your network really does have the ability to affect your net worth. Like, how many customers you have can actually be part of the reason why you need a really good network around you. So if you're not networking online or offline, maybe that's something you can think of for 2022. Do you need to improve your online presence? When was the last time you looked at your Google My Business account, which is actually changing, mind you? So that's, a bit of a thing that happened last week was Google My Business has decided to do some changes like Google does. But, besides that, when was the last time you went and updated your Google My Business? Do you need to get onto TikTok and, have a look on there and see whether that's where your competitors are, or more importantly, that's where your customers are? Do you need to redo your bio? And the answer to that is probably yes at this time of the year, because you want to make sure that you are, telling your clients and your customers that, you're here to make their life a little bit simpler. Audit your hashtags that you're using. Do you actually come up for the hashtags that you've been using? Are you actually in the feed of the hashtags, or are you just using the same ones over and over again? Do some SEO research, perhaps. If you've got a website, do you need to have a look at your SEO coming into Christmas? What are people searching for? And therefore, are you actually going to rank for those keywords? Maybe you need to do some test and measure there as well. You need to deliver amazing customer experiences. You need to surprise and delight. You need to stand out from the crowded marketplace. So how you do that depends on your business. Sometimes it's just by making things simple for them and, surprising them with the option for free gift wrapping, or for, I can deliver that after work for you or something. But surprise and delight are extremely good tactics to use. Improve your strategy around testimonials and reviews. So when was the last time you shared a testimonial or a review that's been left for you, or a customer who's given you a testimonial? People buy from these sorts of things. Like, I think Katrina McCarter, who has Marketing to Mums, was saying something. It was some astronomical statistic, and I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm going to have a guess. It was something like 76% of women will buy a product based on a testimonial or a review left by another woman. They didn't even have to know this woman, but there's that element of trust of, another woman who they assume is just like them has bought this product and really liked it. I am going to trust that person and buy that product too. So, online, do you have a place for reviews of your products on your website, in your socials? When was the last time you shared a testimonial, or a review that someone has left you? Re-examine your ideal customer and offerings, and look at your price strategy. All these things have changed. Your ideal customer, who you might have known back to front and back to front and front to back, 2 years ago, it's probably changed. They probably are a different person these days, or have different needs. So we need to make sure that we are looking at that person and re-examining that person and what they want, and how we can actually service them better. And of course, your pricing strategy. When was the last time you looked at that? The answer to that question should be yesterday. Like, every invoice that you get in, you should be looking at your pricing strategy around that invoice, because things change so quickly. Freight has probably changed a lot in the last 6 months or so. And we need to make sure that we are getting just as much margin as we deserve on our products. So you need to sit back and re-examine those things. But basically, if you take one thing away from this workshop, is make marketing a priority in your business, especially this time of the year. I know it gets super busy, but the last thing you want is for you to be too busy to actually show up for the customers and the clients who already know, like, and trust you. All right, so you've sat with me now for, I don't know how long, bit over an hour. I have a 72-hour rule. So I do this at the end of every single presentation that I do. 72 hours, what are you going to do to move your business forward? You've probably written down some notes. Choose one thing, choose two things. Don't choose any more than two, because you won't get them done. But in the next 72 hours, you need to take some action from this presentation, from this workshop. Otherwise, it'll just become a workshop that was good to attend. We are so busy that if we don't do something now, why it's hot, why it's in our minds, you'll put those notes away and you'll come back to them in a couple of weeks and go, I can't really remember what I was going to do. And that will be the end. You won't have moved your business forward. So I really would love to know, even in the chat, what you're going to do in the next 72 hours to really move your business forward when it comes to, getting people to shop with you, getting more locals to shop with you this Christmas, and of course, around your Christmas marketing. But otherwise, that's it for me. I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation question. I'll stop sharing in a sec and come and answer any questions that you might have. I have a podcast called Small Business Made Simple. If you're a podcast listener, on Mondays, I do an episode that's less than 5 minutes. And on Thursdays, I do interviews and longer ones. So I'd love you to come over and listen to that. I think I'm nearly up to episode 161 with nearly 100,000 downloads. So there's lots of catalog for you to go back and listen to there, of course. Otherwise, I'll stop sharing and come and see what questions there might be. Kate, did you see any questions on the oh yes, you did. Great questions. I will raise them with you.
We have had a couple of really good questions. Sue runs Valley View Caravan Park out in Whitfield, and she's got an awesome website. She's wondering, do you know what sort of program they can use for gift certificates, as they have no online store, so their website currently doesn't have that e-commerce capacity. So what can she sort of research or look at to get gift certificates for her caravan park happening?
Yeah, look, I guess it could be as easy, Sue, as going to Canva. So www.canva.com has a free option as well as a paid option. And there are templates already. If you type in the word gift certificate or gift voucher, there's already templates there that you can change into your own colors and your own words and that sort of thing. And then you could, I guess, download that as a PDF and just simply email it to people. That might actually want it. Or of course, turn it into a social media post and put it up on social media that you have gift vouchers available. Of course, you would probably have to do one for every time someone asks, because obviously you'll probably want to put the amount in there. So it would kind of like become a template, and, you could use it on social media. But when someone did buy a $200 gift voucher, you would probably go back into Canva, type in 200, and then re-download it and save it as that person's name. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. Because most people will probably want it emailed. If they want it printed, you could certainly get some printed ones from that. Like, you can print straight from Canva as well. I don't know where the printing goes. You might want to check out with a local person as well if you want to support local businesses. I know Luke from Benalla Printing, is great at doing all that stuff. He does a lot of my printing. So that could be an option for you as well.
There also, there should be an option with, I'm not sure who your website's, the platform is, whether it's WordPress or whatever it might be. They should have a plugin available for gift vouchers. They will probably charge you for the plugin. I'm just going to post a grant program in the chat. At the moment, it's run by Small Business Victoria, and basically you need to join a wait list at the moment because they were inundated with applications. They provide a rebate of up to $1,200 if you add on to your existing website a product from the list they've provided. So they've got Shopify, Squarespace, and those kind of products that can do those gift voucher functions. So that's an option as well, even if you just pop your name down for the wait list. And if you do hear back that the program opens back up, then that's something you can explore as well. So I'll pop that in the chat. There's a couple of options. We also had a good question from Rachel, which links to her action she's going to be doing, which is experimenting with Facebook and Insta Live. But her question is, Jen, hang on, can you talk about the benefits and differences of adding to the story as opposed to just doing a post, so social media?
Okay, so the story as in Instagram stories versus the feed. So I guess statistics tell us that people, especially on Instagram, well, Reels have probably taken over a little bit. They haven't sort of brought out any new data that I've seen necessarily for that, but people are picking up their phone and they're scrolling across. So people are watching stories before they are looking at the feeds. So I think you need both. And if any post that you do in the feed, share to a story. Click that little thing that looks like a paper airplane, is kind of like, you know, the love button, the talk bubble, and then there's the thing that looks like a paper airplane. If you click that, it will then you can put that post into a story, you know, add some little words, maybe add some, you know, things that flutter or something like that to catch people's eye. And that becomes a story. I think we need to be using both quite consistently, but stories traditionally are things that you only want up for a short amount of time and are less polished, let's say. So a live fits really well in that, and especially a live that, you know, it might only be a special for today. So, you know, it might be kind of like, you know, 12 days of Christmas. So every day you have a different product that you're highlighting. You only really want it up there for that 24 hours. So that fits really well with stories. Doing a live, so with you know, maybe it has to do with your timing as well. I think in the feed you can only do 60 seconds of video, but I think that's different for live. I think that's only if you upload a video. So look, for anything live, I would be going stories, because Instagram will actually tell all, like, a majority or a percentage of the people that follow you, you know, Jen Donovan's going live or has gone live, you know, click here, and you can click there. So it's like that little gentle reminder to your audience to, hey, come and check in with me. So it works really well like that. So if you want it to stay longer than 24 hours, I would be doing it on your feed. So it would really depend on what you're going live about. And if you want some, you know, if it's a little bit tricky, or you want some really good traction on it, do a reel.
Until they release the next thing for us to get our heads around.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Rach is wanting to know, what is a reel?
What is a reel? So a reel is it's kind of TikTok on Instagram. Basically, TikTok have got this platform where there's short, sharp videos, and Instagram went, I want a piece of that pie. So they invented reels. So if you go to your Instagram, and down the bottom, you will actually see, you know, let me get Instagram up and see exactly. So reels is the thing that looks like the movie shutter, you know, where they say action. So that's what the reel is there. So people do reels. Look, some of them are really good, some of them are really silly, but it's a short, sharp, it's supposed to be attention grabbing. It has its own feed completely, but you can add it to your own feeds. So yeah, it depends on your audience as to whether or not they're useful. I personally haven't found them particularly useful. For my audience is definitely a stories audience. So that's where I tend to hang out stories in the feed.
Beautiful. We might wrap up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Jen. That was an absolutely amazing session, and I've certainly taken away a lot of things. First of all, I'm going to be taking a full day to do some scheduling.
Love that. Yes.
But leaving one day a week free for any organic content that might come up that needs to be posted out. And that in itself is worth the hour and a half I've spent with you today, I think. So thank you so much. Your knowledge and expertise is amazing. You've let everyone know where they can find you, which is great. I know we had a comment earlier about not knowing that you're the brains behind Spend With Us, which is another amazing initiative that some of the people I think on the line today would be a perfect partner for you.
Yeah,
so
awesome. Please get in contact. Just one thing I was going to mention before, we were talking QR codes before. So Canva has the ability to make a QR code in like about 10 seconds. So if you are a Canva user, or even if you're not, and if you've never heard of it before, go to YouTube and type in Canva for Dummies and learn a little bit about it. But basically they have a QR code thing that you can press, put in their address that you want it to go, the URL address, click generate, and it's generated one, and you can put it on posters or print it out or do anything. Not much use going on social media because it's something you have to scan, and you're often looking at social media on your phone, so it's kind of that double edge there, but makes it super simple for making a QR code for anything that you might need. So they're not complicated to do if you were thinking that would be a good idea, but I'm not sure how to go about it.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right. Well, I was going to say we'll let you have 2 minutes back in your day, but I will be sending out the slides and the recording as well for those who missed certain portions and those who couldn't join us live today, but I know are looking forward to the content. So thank you so much, Jen.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, ladies, and thanks, Kate, for inviting me. And look, I hope it's a little bit early to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, but just stay safe, and I hope it's your biggest Christmas ever, whatever your business is.
Awesome. Thanks all. See you.
Thanks. Bye.